And I'll call the continuance of the Wednesday, December 4th, 2025, Forest Lake Area School Board meeting to order. Please join us while we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Member Clerk, will you please take the roll call of attendance?
Sure. Member Christensen.
Here.
Member Rebeline.
Here.
Member Castle.
Here.
Member Antonsen is here. Member Tyson.
Here.
Member Corcoran.
Here.
Everybody's here.
All right, everybody here. Although not totally necessary, I'd recommend that we readdress the meeting agenda, so I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the meeting agenda. Being a continuance of the last agenda, I do have an amendment I'd like to make to this. I would move to amend the agenda by striking items 6.5 through 6.13, moving item 4.1 to follow item 6.4, and amending the directive of item 4.1 to read discussion of applications to fill board vacancy. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I realize that was a loaded motion, so I would like to ask the board if there are any questions concerning the motion.
Can you repeat? Well, I did. The third part I got.
Yes, I will repeat the motion. The motion is to strike items 6.5 through 6.13 and to move item 4.1 to follow 6.4 and to amend the directive of item 4.1 to read discussion of applicants to fill board vacancy. Is there any discussion on that amendment?
Are you also striking 7.1 and 2?
Yeah.
Not with this motion, but if the board would like to entertain that, we can certainly amend the amendment.
No, we could keep it.
We can
You
keep
can
it for
take
now.
long.
We keep it
Yeah.
for
If
now.
they're here to speak to it, which.
That's what my thought was, is the first readings typically go pretty quick.
Yep, let's just leave them.
So we keep it? Okay, we'll keep it.
I'm in
then?
agreement.
Yeah.
Okay, any other discussion on the
4.1.
amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that motion carries. That brings us back to the main motion on approving the agenda. Is there any additional discussion on that? All right, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, the motion carries. So just for clarification of those in the crowd and here, I'm going to make some updates to my paper as well, so I follow this along correctly. We have now moved the special business of the selection of applicant to fill board vacancy to occur after item 6.4, which is certifying the property taxes payable in 2026. We have also amended that item to, instead of being the selection of applicant, to read the discussion of applications to fill board vacancy. And we have removed items 6.5 to 6.13, essentially postponing them to a later date, which will bring us immediately to the consent agenda. I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, the motion carries and the consent agenda passes. That brings us to item 6.1, donations. Member Christensen.
Yes, we have a list of donations here, $3,000 from the Midco Foundation for Forest Lake Area Community School Outdoor Recreation Project, $275 from Amy Rewe from Forest Lake Area High School General Use, $30 from Amber Kasprowski, Lino Lakes Elementary General Use, a portable AED from the Chad Stamper Memorial, Forest Lake Area Schools to be used where needed, and a snacks and food donation from Faith Lutheran Church from Forest Lake Area Schools for family support of all students in need. A total of $3,305 plus additional goods value, or excuse me, total $3,305 plus goods donated. I vote we move, I move to approve with gratitude.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, the motion carries. I have it noted here that we have no retirement notices. Member Christensen, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, that will dispose of 6.2. Will bring us to item 6.3, accept the 2024-2025 financial audit. We'll remind the board that we did have a good presentation on this. And for a summary, Director Amber-Guide.
Thank you, Chair Evelyn. Good evening. We did have a presentation on December 4th about this. It's an annual requirement that school districts do receive an audit. We choose L.B. Carlson to be the firm that completes that for us. Jackie presented that we had an unmodified opinion, which is the best opinion that you can get. So she had no findings over internal controls or any Minnesota state statutes. So with that, Finance Department would recommend that we accept the audit.
All right. Are there
Move
any
to approve.
questions?
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the table. Perfect. Do we have any questions or comments on this item?
I already had my question.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll just say again, thank you for you and your team for doing such a fabulous job as always, and working with Jackie and her team is, I know it's pretty seamless at this point, and really appreciate their hard work and that we came up with no issues in our audit, and it's the best you can get. So thanks again to your team and for all your hard work. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I would echo that, and also extend a congratulations to you and your team on making it through an audit as a painful process, and I know you're already going to prepare for the next one that's coming up. So it's kind of a continuous cycle. All right, so seeing no other discussion on
Thank
this,
you.
Member Clerk, will you take the roll call?
Okay. Member Tyson.
Aye.
Member Antonsen votes aye. Member Rebbeline.
Aye.
Member Christensen.
Aye.
Member Castle.
Aye.
Member Corcoran.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right, the motion carries, bringing us to item 6.4, certified 2025 property taxes payable in 2026. Dr. Massey.
Chrissy,
Oh,
we'll get it started.
Director Amber-Guide.
Me again. Yes, so we again had an extensive presentation at 6 p.m. We had our truth and taxation hearing on the 4th. We talked about our overall taxes going up by about 2.4%. Again, that has to do with the fact that our general fund levy is going to decrease for next year with a long-term facility maintenance adjustment, and then our debt fund is going to increase with some payments that we put in that year to make sure that taxes stayed as stable as possible for our residents. We did have one gentleman come to the hearing that had several questions, so I took time right after the hearing with him to review the information and statements and make sure that he understood where all those taxes were coming from with voter-approved versus non-voter-approved levies. So beyond that, that was the only question that we had from the constituents, and so we should be good to certify the levy.
All right, I'd like to thank you for spending your time with them and for the presentation that we had last week. And just as a reminder that this is a continuation of the December 4th meeting that we had. We did have a public hearing there. We did allow for public comment. So this is just a continuation of that business. So we have fulfilled that legal obligation that we have. But as always, questions are welcome. And Director Amber-Heidi is happy to address them. So with that, I would move to approve.
So moved.
Second?
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on that?
I just
Member
want to
Tyson.
add that, thank you for meeting with him, and I hear such good feedback from people when they do that and you take the time with them. I think you're so good at explaining everything in very understandable terms, so we really appreciate you and all the hard work you do. So thank you.
Well said.
All right, any other comments, questions? All right, seeing none, Member Clerk, please take the roll call.
Okay, Member Rebbeline.
Aye.
Member Castle.
Aye.
Member Christensen.
Aye.
Member Antonsen votes aye. Member Corcoran.
Aye.
Member Tyson.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
All right, that brings us all the way back to 4.1, which we've amended to read the discussion of applicants to fill the board vacancy. And now that we're here, I'm going to start this off with a motion that we eliminate applicants Dobinzinski, Smith, and Durango from consideration since they failed to secure majority support last week. Do I have a
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second on that. Is there any discussion? All right, right, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that motion carries, which I would recommend that we now turn our focus on the other 5 applicants. And I'd recommend that without discussion, and we simply just do a show of hands. Member
Point of
Corcoran?
order,
Yeah.
can we change the wording about show of hands to just a roll call?
Sure.
To have more clarity and some
Yeah.
more, to keep track a little better?
Yeah,
for us?
absolutely.
That would
Yep,
be
yep,
great.
we can do a roll call. Would you like me just to go around the room, or would you like me to work with the clerk and have it go through in the random order?
Or, I think around the room is fine.
Around the room is fine?
Mhm,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, in that case, I'll turn back to this here. Without discussion, I'll simply ask around the room, just to indicate if you have support of giving an applicant further consideration. This is not I will vote for them to be on the board, but I would like to think about this applicant further, and this will help us narrow the field. Now we have 5 applicants left, and it'll help us narrow the field down to kind of see where we go from here. Do the members of the board understand that suggestion? And
It might be helpful if you could clarify the result if a candidate does not receive a majority,
sure.
the intent of, the board's intent in terms of moving forward for a candidate who does not obtain a majority.
So my recommendation would be if we don't have a majority consensus on this type of a vote where we're willing to give a candidate further consideration, that we remove them from the selection process and we move forward only with applicants that do have a majority consensus for consideration. And if we get to the point where none of the applicants do, we cross that bridge when we get there. And that brings us to further discussion at the end of the process. Member Tyson?
One question, just to clarify. So it doesn't depend, there's no bearing on number of people. It's just yes or no to further
Correct,
the
yeah.
discussion.
Yep, we have 5 eligible applicants left here, and I'll go through them in alphabetical order. And we can, each member can say they support all 5, each member could say they don't support any of the 5. And we just, we're looking for a count of 4 to move forward. Does that make sense?
Yep, thank you.
All right, with alphabetical order in mind, then we'll start with Mr. Cornier, and I'll start with Member Tyson.
Yes.
Member Castle?
Yes.
Member, oh, I just lost my train of thought. Member Antonsen?
No.
Member Corcoran?
Yes.
Member Christensen?
Yes.
Okay, we have 4 for Mr. Cornier, and that will bring us
Did the chair
to...
vote?
Yes.
You did.
Oh, no, I did not. My vote would be no on member, or Mr. Cornier, but he met the threshold of 4 anyhow. And I'm just kind of doing a stare and compare here. I think that brings us to Mrs. Hanson. I'll start at the other end of the table this time. Member Christensen.
Yes.
Okay. Member Corcoran.
Yes.
All right. Member Antonsen.
Yes.
Member Castle.
Yes.
Member Tyson.
No.
Okay. Member Rebelline, I vote aye. That brings us to 5 in the affirmative for Member Hanson. And please, if other board members could keep track too, I'm trying to do the count, but if I get it wrong, please let me know.
A small piece, candidate Hanson, not member.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I
Thank
caught
you.
that too.
Applicant Hanson.
Jill, Joy, he's getting,
Oh, wow.
fix that.
Yeah, I keep moving from member, Mr., Mrs. Candidate. Okay. If I know my ABCs correctly, I think that brings us to Mr. Pease. I'll start with myself. I do not support Mr. Pease. Member Antonsen?
Aye.
Member Castle?
No.
Member Tyson?
Yes.
Okay. Member Corcoran?
Yes.
And Member Christensen?
Yes.
Okay, is that 4 in the affirmative for
Yes.
Mr. Pease?
Correct.
Okay. That brings us to Mr. Rutford. Mr. Rutford, we'll start with Member Corcoran.
No.
Member Christensen.
No.
Member Tyson.
No.
Member Castle.
No.
Member Antonsen.
Yes.
And Member Rebelline votes no. That individual will be eliminated. That brings us to Mr. Tuat. Mr. Tuat, let's start with Member Castle.
Yes.
Member Antonsen.
Yes.
Member Ebline would vote yes. Member Tyson?
No.
Okay, Member Corcoran?
No.
Member Christensen?
No.
Okay, that eliminates Mr. Tuat. So if I gather that correctly, that brings us Mr. Pease, Mrs. Hanson, and Mr. Cornier all having a majority of support to move forward in that process. Would that be correct? Would I-
Yeah.
Correct. That's what I have too.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. So in this case, we have multiple applicants who have support for consideration. In this case, I would recommend to the board a motion to formally eliminate Mr. Rutford and Mr. Tuat for consideration.
So moved?
Second?
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that? All right, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, that motion carries, which brings us to I guess, let me ask, what would the board like to do with the November 20th resolution? We can amend it, or we can rescind it.
I move to rescind.
Second.
All right, motion and a second to rescind the resolution. That will actually simplify things moving forward. Is there any discussion on that? All right, I just add this will simplify things, so let's go ahead and rescind it. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that resolution is rescinded, which is going to simplify things for us moving forward here. I would recommend that at this point, we move to the next order of business. We give the board and the public time to reflect on the three finalists that we have now named for consideration for next week. And Member Corcoran and I work in the background to kind of determine what the proposed agenda item will be for the 18th. And we'll get that finalized and back to the board by Friday afternoon, as is typical. That will be released to the public sometime on Monday. Now that we have no resolution in place, we are not required to take any action on any specific items on the 18th. We can set our own timeline. And if it pleases the board, I think that Member Corcoran and I can work that out in the background.
Then we'll just bring something back to the board. Next steps.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I appreciate that, yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I just want to say, I don't know where we're going here quickly, but I
Yep.
just want to say thank you to all of the applicants for this process and your
Yes.
patience, because I know this has probably been a long week of not really knowing what's happening. So I apologize for that unknown, and appreciate so much public involvement and interest in this whole process. It's been really kind of, it's just, I think it's amazing. I was reading something else about another school board who only had one applicant when they ran their, same kind of process. So I think that shows a lot of care. So, thank you.
And Member
I
Corcoran?
would like to echo those sentiments, and for the couple applicants that kind of went through a lot, the last meeting, I truly, I appreciate, their willingness to stand with us, and I know the process can be long, and we do appreciate the people that have really sent emails and just support and been really very involved in the process. So it's a lot of interest, and people really care. So it's very evident that this is an important decision that we cannot rush, and I do really appreciate all the support.
Yeah, I would echo all of those statements, and even add that, it became very apparent through a very painful process and a very painful meeting last week that all 6 board members care deeply about the future of the district, and we all want to make sure that we go in the right direction. We felt very strongly about some of our preferred candidates, and we've now elected to move on from them and look at some other candidates, and we'll figure out the way forward. I agree with Member Tyson's statement that we can be a very high function.
I just find it difficult to even really be sitting here. What transpired last Thursday until 2 in the morning was extremely difficult, and I just feel like we have to acknowledge that. I think we're all just sitting here, all of a sudden, everyone's getting along, and we're like apologizing to the candidates for the process. I mean, perhaps there should be some apologies around the board table. I don't know. I mean, it was, yeah, I wrote down a lot of things I could say. I'm just going to stay above the fray, but I just want to acknowledge that that meeting was incredibly difficult, unnecessary, and a lot of trust has been broken. I'm very glad to hear the chair and vice chair moving forward to some resolution. I'm certainly not interested in going back where we came from, but I just want to somehow acknowledge that. I think it's really awkward that you know, we're not acknowledging what happened and apologizing to the candidates and perhaps not apologizing to each other. So yeah, I hope that we can move forward, and I pray that something like that never happens again. I mean, I just want to remind us all, we're here for the students, staff, parents. What transpired here last Thursday certainly did not serve any of those constituencies. So, thank you.
All right, thank you, Member Christensen. Member Tyson.
So I just want to add to what Member Christensen's saying is that, you know, whatever kept us here in this room till that time of the morning and for that 8 hours was really a disservice to the people that had to stay in the meeting and were sitting in the gallery, to the young man that comes to report on our meetings, to Joy, who had probably been here since 7 in the morning, and to Renee. So I think we could at least apologize to them and then start holding ourselves accountable for keeping our relationships moving in a positive way and empowering each other to work together and find that middle ground, because like Member Christensen said, we do not want that to happen again. That was stressful, that was exhausting, and it was so void of why we're here. We're here for our students in our district, and we all know that. We're very passionate about that. So let's just continue down that road of positivity and trying to build relationships with each other. And to end, I just want to say, concur with what Tessa said, that we do need to thank our applicants and apologize. I mean, we really kind of went off the rails and we didn't have a plan. So I'm hopeful that the chair and the vice chair can think about some of the things that have been said. Member Castle had a great idea last week's meeting, and just move forward from that, but find more parameters so that we aren't going to go off the rails and subject our candidates to anything that isn't appropriate.
Yes, I agree. And I also want to say thank you. There's multiple people in the community that sent in really good ideas as to ways to move forward, so I appreciate those as well. And I think you two obviously are going to look at them all and figure out a way forward for us. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd add to that too, that, you know, Member Corcoran and I will look at them, we'll make recommendations to the board, but this board will be making that decision. Member Corcoran and I have no decision-making authority outside of our 2 votes at this table, and it's going to take at least 4 to get this done. So just so that's clear to everybody, we're simply going to recommend a process. And I agree with Member Tyson that the relationships are important, and I'll be the first to say it's much easier to preside over a meeting where there's agreement rather than disagreement and gridlock. That gets difficult, especially when you're in a position where you need to enforce the rules and the resolutions and stuff that have been put forward. So that put me in a tough position as well, because I wanted to see it get done last week. But at the same time, I had to meet the directive of the board's will as a majority. And now that the majority's changed that will and we've dissolved that resolution, that will make that much easier going forward. So if we reach an impasse again, we'll have a few more options that we can recommend, at least from the chair here. Do we have any additional discussion on 4.1, or should we move to 7.1?
I think we can move on.
Yeah.
Seeing none, let's move right to 7.1, first reading Administrator Code of Ethics Policy 1306. Dr. Massey.
Again, these are new action new items, so no action necessary tonight. The purpose of this policy is to establish the requirements of the school board that school administrators adhere to the standards of ethics and professional conduct in this policy and in accordance with Minnesota law. You'll notice on this policy, there's an additional item with respect to disciplinary action. That language is pulled from statute as it relates to other employment groups in public service and public schools. So take a look at that and reach out if you have any questions.
All right, thank you, Dr. Massey. 7.2, first reading school weapons policy 1501, which is a renumber from 532.
The purpose of this policy is to ensure a safe environment for students, staff, and the public. There are a number of definition changes, reference changes in this policy. Specifically, you will see that there's a bit of a shift of decision-making on ultimate consequences for a student who brings a legally identified firearm to school, that is per statute and within the language of the statute, that would be at the discretion of the school board as it relates to the potential of expulsion for students with firearms. So again, take a look at the recommended changes in this policy. Reach out if you have any questions. There's quite a bit going on here, and we can move for action at the next meeting.
All right, thank you, Dr. Massey. Brings us to reviewing upcoming calendar dates. Reminder to everybody, we have... Oh,
You know,
Member
can I
Corcoran,
just
sorry.
quick- I feel like I should have said something else, and I wrote it down, that we should also thank our superintendent. He helped the
did.
chair and I work through these issues and came up with a process and some really good guidance. And without that, I think, we might still be at our standstill. So
We might.
I really do appreciate all his time and effort and expertise. He helped get through this really troubling time, trying to work with us, and I know it's not always easy. So, but thank you so much for your guidance. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yep.
Yeah, I would add to that and say thank you for your willingness to reach out to Member Corcoran to set up that meeting and to really help facilitate those discussions.
Yep.
I think it was really helpful in moving forward, obtaining a quorum here this evening, and we'll reach a solution at some point.
Yes, we will.
I enjoyed
Member
getting
Atkinson.
I did appreciate getting the email from the board chair here tonight, and I knew that you guys had spoken with Dr. Massey, and it did spark that there's a shift happening. So I enjoyed that shift, to see it, to read it like that, and know that it's coming to all of us, and that you guys collaborated. So
Yeah.
thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you, Member Atkinson. And to that point, just so people aren't wondering about the email and the crowd hears, I did, after my discussions with Member Corcoran multiple over the last few days, we summarized kind of what we'd been talking about, and what we thought about, and kind of how we envision the process for this meeting going tonight. I summarized all that and just sent it to all board members, just so they were clear and understood when they got here kind of what the expectation was, at least for me presiding over the meeting. Obviously, a single member of the board can't direct the board in any direction, but I can make suggestions and see if the board is willing to follow those suggestions. I feel like it went really well tonight, and if we adjourn here shortly, we'll do it in less than 30 minutes. So I feel like it was extremely productive and well used, and that's probably a process we'll carry forward in the future as we work through this and any other contentious issues, where we try to inform the board of suggestions that may come in the meeting, especially if members see that as helpful. So, Member Castle?
Will we eventually perhaps make a policy regarding the process in the future once we've gone through this and have some good guidelines to use? Such
Maybe,
as you
yeah.
come to an impasse, like we have today, we decided to take those impasse people and, check them off and then go to the remaining candidates.
Yeah, it's not a bad suggestion. It's something that maybe Member Corcoran and I will discuss here.
Yeah,
and
we'll probably have some
see.
procedures in place, for
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
of if this happens, just
Ideas.
so we don't, to me, it's like, I don't like being blindsided.
Yep.
I like to know kind of expectations. That's why I was so appreciative of the email, because then we knew walking in kind of how this was gonna go. And if we do come an impasse again, that we'll have something in writing or
Yeah.
some procedure to follow,
Yep.
so we will not be stalling out all
Yeah.
night.
Yeah, at least then we, like you said, you have expectations, you know what to expect. That is simply a one-way communication that came from the chair. I expected no response from that, because we have to be very careful that we don't violate open meeting law or have serial meetings or anything like that, to that effect. And I hope it was beneficial to members when they came here this evening to at least have some expectations of how this might fall, how this might go this evening. Member Tyson, did you have something to add?
Yes, I just wanted to add, and yeah, this adds a lot of clarity, and I think I've said that I'm very visual, so when things are typed up and written and I can follow them, I really appreciate that. Just want to add that for future resolutions, I think it'll be better to, before their roll call, than to send them out, for us to preview it, everybody get a chance to read it, digest it, and then bring it to a roll call. And just kind of follow that protocol from here on out, so we don't get tripped up and embedded with some resolution that isn't working for all of us.
I like that suggestion as well, because even if we go back to November 20th, I did have that quasi-typed out. I sent it out, and I know it had some phonetics in there and some misspellings and stuff, but would have given, maybe we go a short recess, give some people time to read it and
Yeah.
digest it. I think we can figure that process out as we go. But yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Thank you.
I do. All right, we got a little off kilter there, but I think it was good.
Sorry.
So to review calendar dates, just as a reminder here, we have our next board meeting on the 18th. I haven't noted that we have committee meetings that night as well, so we'll get it started at 5 PM. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on adjourning? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, we are adjourned.